It had been some time since I had last failed the lift, and this is mostly because I had not been doing singles for a while. But then when I went into this bench press and I decided to go up to what would be a max, 70 kilos moved well, and my previous max was 75 kilos. Then I tried 77 and a half, and yeah, it went like this. What I think is that more than a lack of strength, it was really a lack of concentration. When I went into there, I was mainly focused on the concentric part. So while the bar was going down, I did not engage any of the muscles that should have stored the tension to actually push it back up. It just fell onto my chest basically, and this was a silly mistake. Really, I was not probably into the mentality for singles, because then when I went into normal sets, I did well. I pushed it for 7 reps, which is the maximum that I've done with 60 kilos, so that's an improvement. So for sure, I should be able to do at least 75, maybe even 77 and a half if I actually focused on what I'm doing. This is a nice viewpoint that actually gives me a visual feedback of how lopsided my pushing movement is. Definitely my right side is not as strong as the left one. I don't know if there is a point in trying to correct this. I know that everyone is asymmetric to some degree, so I'm not really concerned about this. It's if I can actually master the concentration to get into under the bar and perform well, yeah, a slight asymmetries are maybe secondary. Maybe they can be improved with time, but definitely I need to put my mind to what I'm doing. And then I went into front squats. I was keeping the weight slightly lower, and I was playing around with stance. Tried to widen it a bit. Actually pointed my toes out quite a bit also. And I felt good mobility down there. Definitely there was some more space for my torso to sink in, and I was going pretty deep. My back was somewhat upright. I was feeling a lot of tension in my upper back and a lot of tension in my quads as well. So there is something to be taken from this. Maybe I'm not gonna be opening my toes out as much. I still think that I can get decent mobility without flaring them out so much, but definitely a wider stance that with the back squat is probably something that I should get in. Gonna still be playing around with it to find what best suits my anthropometry basically, and hopefully I will be able to progress the front squats as well. Kind of excited about that. Then I did a few handstands. This one I was in a good position. I didn't want to stay up too much, but then when I lowered my legs into a tuck, I kind of put maybe too much pressure on my wrist, trying to compensate for my legs falling down in the opposite direction, and maybe I should have gone for just a normal vertical. And then I was pairing the handstands up with these explosive pull-ups. I don't think that I will be doing any muscle ups, maybe occasionally, but what I would like to try and progress is this explosive initial part of the movement. I think that there is a lot to be gained in terms of power production and fiber recruitment. Something that I need to play with is actually getting the tempo right. So I'm noticing that as I swing forward, I initiate the pull. Maybe it's slightly too early. Maybe I should be waiting for my body to start swinging back, and that could prevent or maybe mitigate my back kind of rounding up as I'm pulling myself up. But definitely I do feel like this first part of the movement is it could be very beneficial with what a normal pull-up doesn't usually do, because then you are only forced to go as high as the bar and touching your chest with the bar. So definitely gonna keep these in and progress them. Ciao.